Shalom, shalom, and welcome to Chappy Corner in my sunroom, but it's not really sunny out. It's actually kind of freaking cold, and so I'm bundled up and gonna head out for a walk, but why not do a little thoughts on this weekend's reading first? So you've got perfect fit in to the idea of, what is the most important thing, like what you believe, how you say, like, I believe this, that, the other thing, but then you go punch people in the face in your spare time. Or how you believe. And it's one of those beautiful things where our society is so obsessed with either or. You have to be this or that. But it's one of those beautiful both ands that life is completely filled with, a multitude of both ands. What you believe, figuring out that's important, but especially how you believe. When you live your belief, does it make you a more compassionate person? Does it open your heart? Does it open you to inclusivity and to all of that beautifulness, if you will? Because Jesus always says, follow me. And if you follow Jesus, and if Jesus is in your belief system, then to follow Jesus is about walking with the poor and loving absolutely everyone no matter what, and having your blessing on everybody. And it is about a complete inclusiveness of God's creation, which is all of us, which is every human being ever, of every faith. God's love lives alive within. Christ is everywhere. To be a Christian is to see Christ everywhere and in everyone and in everything. This is including taking care of our beautiful planet as well. And this goes perfectly into this weekend's gospel too. So the first reading is from James, and talking about faith. You have to have faith. You also have to have the acts. Yep, you need both. You need to be able to do that. You need to be able to live your faith, this living faith in a living God. And the other thing is this: Jesus says, who do you say that I am? To Peter and the disciples. And this is huge. And I think that life asks us this all the time. So Jesus, who do you say that I am? God, who do you say that I am? The universe, who do you say that I am? Because who you say that the universe is and who you say that God is going to dictate your life so much. If the universe to me is dangerous and angry and scary, yep, then that's there's your life. If the universe to you, or if God to you is exclusive and angry and you have to be this, that, and the other thing, well, welcome to your life. That's what it's going to be. If God to you, and Peter says, you are the Messiah, you are the anointed one, you are God among us in living flesh and being of love. And now that's okay, beautiful. That means, who am I to you? Who do you say that I am? Jesus says. And that answer of the Messiah means you are God's beloved. You are filled with love and life and inclusiveness and mercy and forgiveness and openness, and then Jesus says, do not tell anyone. Don't tell anybody this, that I'm the Messiah. And I think a beautiful interpretation of this from good old Richie Rohr talks about, he says, don't tell anyone, because the thing is if I get the gospel and I don't understand who Jesus is, then I am going to be using the gospel to try to benefit my own being, to try to make sure that I'm number one, to try to make sure that everybody's in my club and that I'm right. And then it doesn't become about being love anymore. It becomes about being right. The gospel is about being forgiving love. Jesus on the cross, forgiving love. That is what the gospel is about. But if you don't answer the question of who am I, of who do you say that I am, as love and compassion and complete inclusivity to help you live your life through your pain, not without it, but through it, then you will see life and life in abundance. It's not about in and out club. It's not about drawing lines. It's about this living alive in our lives. So knowing, being able to live the gospel is understanding it's nothing to do with separation and nothing to do with measure up, but everything to do with you are God's beloved in whom God is well pleased, and everything else flows from there. And so then the next part, which is really important, Jesus says, like, then I am the Son of Man, I am going to suffer and I'm going to die and all of these things. And Peter says, no, that's not going to happen. And this is interesting because Jesus says to him, get behind me, Satan. It's the only time he says that within the scriptures. And to a person, get behind me, Satan. To Peter, his buddy. And it's huge. Like, the word Satan actually means, when it's broken down to its meaning, it means the accuser. So this is really huge, because Peter's saying, no, you won't hurt. No, nobody will hurt you. Yep, you will get hurt in life. Yep. you will suffer. Yes, things will be difficult, but we have to be able to follow Jesus and follow the gospel and enter these, and not avoid these difficulties, but to be able to enter them, to walk through them together hand in hand with love and forgiveness still alive in our hearts and not resentment and anger. There's the way, the truth, and the life right there. So there's some thoughts on the gospel, on this book that is filled with life-giving love, when your answer to who do you say that I am is inclusive, forgiving, all-embracing love. Grace and peace, friends.